Hi, and welcome to Nurse with Needles podcast. My name is Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy on Plurk and Ravelry, and I am your host today. My co-host is my mom, and she is Lady Fernico on Ravelry and on Plurk. Sorry that we haven't podcasted for a week. What is that? I think I worked.
We had working schedule and we had guests and you had guests?
Yeah, I was supposed to have the week before.
Yeah.
We had guests. Then I was working 3 nights in a row. Well, I got called off for one night, but I couldn't podcast that night because I had to be ready to come in at a moment's notice.
It's just busy.
Yeah, so didn't really see the point of doing a podcast and then doing one 2 days later, so just held off and figured we'd do it today. Today is Monday, August 20th, 2012. And welcome if you're a returning member, and definitely hi! Welcome to the podcast if you are brand new and seeing us for the first time. I'm going to jump right into the knitting. The first project I'm going to talk about is the one I call Legolas. This is the Vivian pattern by Yosalda Teague. I'm making it for me in size 36 using US 9 Knit Picks interchangeable circulars with 32-inch cables using Stonehenge Fiber Mill Shepherd's Wool in the Blue Spruce colorway. And for this pattern, you need to know how to cast on, to knit, to purl, to work seam stitch, to cable 4 back, to cable 4 front, to make 1 left, to purl 2 or 3 together, to purl front and back, to pass slip stitch over, to slip slip knit, to slip 2 together, to twist 3 or 4 back, to twist 3 or 4 front, to knit 2 together, and how to work from a chart. You will also need cable needles, markers, stitch markers, and a zipper. And this is what that pattern looks like.
Although it didn't originally come with a zipper, right? It was buttoned down?
No, this one is a zipper
it is
originally.
A zipper.
So it's a very pretty pattern. I would say it's probably, I think they mark it as intermediate. I wouldn't be surprised because those are some fairly advanced skills if you've never cabled before or anything like that.
Are you doing it in the round?
No, it's not in the round. I worked a little bit on it last night.
It's very pretty. Really see the cables now.
Yeah.
I love cables.
It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. When you work a cable, you're like, yay, I did something special.
And they're so pretty.
And it's not showing up really well because of the backdrop.
We've got a lot of rain, so.
Well, actually, it's because of the light coming through that little window. It's warping the color. Let's see.
That's pretty close.
Pretty close. And also, just while I'm at it, some of my stitch markers I just got. Hang on. Yarn.
A little shirt.
A little sweater. And more yarn. With needles.
Do you want to turn on that light over there? Maybe that'll help. I don't know if it'll wash it out more.
I'm thinking it might wash it out more. Hold on. It makes absolutely no difference.
No difference whatsoever.
It's really just this light behind me that's a pain in the neck. So I didn't work very much on it. I probably did a row and a half, something like that. I'm very happy to be starting to work on this again. I'm going to stick that back where it belongs. The next project I want to talk about is the one I call Jewel Magic. And it is the damask pattern by Kitman Figueroa.
It's Figueroa.
Figueroa. I always mispronounce it.
You see how it says? Yeah, I think it's Figueroa.
I should just be thinking.
It's Figueroa.
Figaro.
She's going to love you for that.
Well, that's how I'm going to remember her name.
She's probably heard it a million times before.
Exactly. So she would not mind.
Not necessarily. I'm sure she's a good sport.
Hey, if you have a name like Figueroa, I'm sure you've heard it like 20 million
It's not an uncommon name.
Have you ever heard it before? Hence it's uncommon.
Yes.
Yes. It's a damask pattern by Figueroa.
Figueroa. I think that's what it is.
Anyway, it's making for me in the large size. It's a shawl. And I'm using US 10 and US 6 Knit Picks interchangeable circulars. And anytime I say Knit Pick circulars, I'm talking Harmony wood. Because I love my Harmony wood. I'm using a 40-inch cable. Even though that's not what the pattern calls for. It calls for something much smaller, but the shawl ends up smushed all around if you don't use a 40-inch cable. I'm using Laying Yarns Jowl Magic Degradé in the number 60 Reds and. That's the name of the colorway.
Reds and.
You need to know how to cast on. And that's a 333 stitch cast on for the large.
Right.
So you really need to make sure you count it right the first time.
Stitch markers.
You need to know how to knit to purl, to do garter stitch, to yarn over, to knit 2 or 3 together, slip, slip, knit. Oh, I'm sorry, to slip, 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 knit. To slip 2, knit, pass over, to purl 2 together, to do 7 nup stitches in 1 stitch, or noop. I can't remember which one.
I think she said it was noop.
I can't remember. To slip 1, knit, yarn over, knit, and how to read charts. And I think there's some errata for this pattern. This is what it looks like.
It's not a very good picture there.
No, it's not. You can't tell how pretty it is. Maybe a little better there, but
Try. You've got it crooked. Try to straighten it a little bit.
It's just not going to show very well.
Too much brightness behind it.
But let me pull out the pattern itself. I'll put that away when I'm done. I'm keeping my Nurse Lois bag. Knitting's my bag. Yes, she's back. Knitting's my bag, and I only did, again, about a row and a half of this. You're starting to see the different colors come out. And I'm sure you can hear the rain in the background. That's out of our control.
Yes, it's very homey. Isn't that pretty?
So you're starting to see the colors. I mean, you can see the colors, I think, a little better in the back right now.
You can see the green on the top now.
Yeah. And let me just show you the
very
bag.
Fall colors.
So I like it a lot. I'll be giving this a lot more attention now. Okay, so that's Jewel Magic. My VTAC socks, which are the Racing Heart socks, they're hibernating. I'm kind of out of the socks mood. I mean, I can do them, but they aren't my absolute favorite thing to do. So if I have nothing else I want to do, I'll do that. And it's nothing against the pattern. I'm just not huge into socks. They take too long. Now, this comes from a person who makes sweaters, because, like, sweaters don't take any time at all, right?
She's broken.
It's just I feel like I'm getting farther with the sweater. I feel like I'm sitting in one spot for the socks for, like, 20 million years. Too small on the outside. That's all. Anyway, those are hibernating. I ended up completely tearing out my Christine socks because I wanted to use that yarn for something else. I think I might use it for a shawl. Maybe another Sedna shawl, because Sedna shawl is so awesome, and it's such an easy purse pattern. Nice, brainless, mindless knitting. So, oh, fiddlesticks, I left Nightwing in the other room.
Oh, go
on. Let me put this on pause a second. I need to run and get something. Okay, starting back off where we were. Even though I'm not talking about the project I had to go and get. It just made me think about it. So yeah, those socks are no more.
It's a shame. It's pretty.
Well, I think it'd be even prettier as a shawl.
Yes, it would.
So yeah, that's that. The next pattern, the next project that I'm working on is actually what I'm currently knitting on. It is what I call fire cardigan. It's a Hyannis cardigan by Kirsten Hipsky. And that's not it. Gosh, I think it might be it. No, it's not. Anyway, I'm making it for me in size 36. Using US 10.5. Okay, that's it. And US 9 Knit Picks interchangeable circulars. Obviously, Harmony wood. 40-inch cable and a 16-inch cable. I'm using Valley Yarns Huntington, and I'm using 3 yarns held together. So it is red, mustard, and harvest orange. For this pattern, you need to know how to cast on, to knit, to purl, to work ribbing, to knit 2 together, to slip, slip, knit, to pick up stitches, to knit buttonholes. If you're doing the buttonholes, I'm thinking of doing a zipper instead. And how to Kitchener.
Did you pick up that zipper at Michael's?
Yes, and I'll show that during Stash Enhancement. This is the pattern. The ribbing's right along the waist and along the bottom. And you aren't seeing any part of the pattern really.
Just the picture mostly.
Just most of the picture. She did in different kinds of blues. The first thing I thought when I saw it was like, ooh, red and orange and yellow.
Not me. Blues, greens, blues.
So, I made a lot of progress with it, I think.
Very nice.
I am out of the ribbing. I know it's kind of weird right now because I'm working in the back, so my cable is making it look all wonky. Mom, could you just hold up that end?
This one?
Yeah. Okay. So
it's really nice. You can see the shaping.
The shaping is definitely developing. We bring it a little closer. I mean, Dad says he thinks it looks orange from afar.
No, I think
the red comes out pretty nicely.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it from afar, but
I mean, if you look at it on the screen now.
Well, it looks, for lack of a better term, mottled or speckled or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the fire cardigan. I'm having a lot of fun with that. After another row or two, I'll be putting the body aside and starting on the sleeves. And then going onward from there. But wait, there's more. I'm working on the Nightwing shawl. And I don't have a picture of the Sedna shawl because I left that in my purse. And I'm not getting up again to get it. The Nightwing shawl is the name of the project. The Sedna shawl is the name of the pattern. It's by Mary Lena Links.
Pattern? Is it a paid pattern?
Yes, it's a. This one that was like $2.50 or whatever. Right. That
just for the new people.
Yeah. I think everything that I've mentioned has been a paid pattern. Anyway, I'm making it for me. It's using US 4 Knit Picks interchangeable circulars, Harmony wood with a 40-inch cable. I'm using No Makers 75% superwash merino with 25% nylon yarn in the Nightwing colorway. And I'm also will be using Spring Tree Road 80% superwash merino with 10% nylon, 10% cashmere in the shades of black colorway. For this pattern, you need to know how to knit, to purl, to yarn over, to chain, to single crochet, to slip stitch for crochet, to double crochet, and to do combined double crochet. And I think I might have actually said the wrong colorway name for the Spring Tree Road one. It's actually named after a character, and they're just saying it was in shades of black. So I can't remember what the actual colorway is called.
It's really pretty. It's dark.
Yeah, it's black like it should be. The Sedna shawl says that you're supposed to do 66 knitted rows, and then if you want to add more length to it, you increase in intervals of 11. Well, 66 wasn't quite big enough for me. I like a big shawl, and this is kind of marked out because I'm knitting on it.
I'm not sure how far it'll block out.
Yeah, I'm on 77 right now. I'll probably stop at What do I have it at?
88, I think you said, or was it?
Nope. 111. So when I get to 111, I will probably call it quits and just
add the
crochet, even if it's not quite the size I want it to be.
I'm going to use hers as a guide for when I do mine.
If I like a big shawl, I think it'll block out pretty nicely, so it might end up being a huge shawl. But that's okay. I'll probably be wearing it a lot at home when I'm knitting. I'm not quite sure what I would wear the camo look with a lot. I'll have to figure that out because it is very camo-y. Not necessarily a going out for a formal dinner or to church shawl with that camo. Although maybe I'll be surprised when I'm done with it. We'll see.
Yeah, with the edging, and then if you wear a plain black or a plain blue or even a plain white.
Yeah. Well, to see. I was a little surprised by the camo. I didn't expect it to be camo-y.
Very pretty, just different.
Yeah. And it's very soft. Let's see. And I do have a new project.
You do that now?
Yeah, I always do new projects then.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, go ahead.
Early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah, well, it's not nice to make fun of your elders. It will hit you double strength if you're not nice. Before your time.
So I have started. Let me open up the proper pattern keeper. I'm calling this pattern Oops Crocheted Edition, so Oopsie. And it's an amigurumi bunny rabbit. That's the name of the pattern.
It's adorable.
And it's a bramble amigurumi bunny rabbit crochet pattern. And it's by Katie E. Hancock. Excuse me. I'm using 3.5 millimeter, which is a USE Knit Picks Harmony Wood hook. Yes,
Nicole.
Knit Picks has Harmony Wood crochet hooks now.
And she got all of them, Nicole, just like I told you.
And they feel wonderful.
Yes, I need to get some.
And they don't slip out of your project nearly as easily as the metal ones do. I'm using stash yarn, brown sheep, lamb-off worsted in the maple praline colorway. Warning, this is written in British crochet terms. So when it tells you, well, first of all, you need to know how to chain. Duh. You need to know how to double crochet. That is British double crochet. Maybe. That is US single crochet. I ended up doing a couple rows before I realized it was British, and I had to tear back and start all over again. I thought about fudging it, and then I was like, well, I'm not sure how I fudge it after a certain point, so I just tore it back and started over. It's a quick workup, so it didn't take that much more time. You need to know how to British double crochet, US single crochet. You need to know how to treble crochet, which in American terms is double crochet. You need to know how to slip stitch. You need to know how to double crochet two together, which is US single crochet two together. I think we have some thunder. You need to know how to do 5 treble cluster, which in US terms is 5 double crochet cluster, and you need to know how to do a magic ring. And the pattern does not tell you how to do a magic ring. YouTube has some beautiful, wonderful, awesome videos for doing magic rings.
Especially with Crochet Geek. She's fantastic with her tutorials. And her name is Teresa Richardson, I think it is. And she goes by Crochet Geek.
So it's it was very useful. This is the bunny.
It's adorable.
Isn't he cute? When you're using DK weight yarn, he's supposed to be 4 to 5 inches. And using Aran weight yarn, he's 5 to 6 inches. So I'm guessing mine will probably be 6 to 7 inches because I'm using worsted weight, and it's a kind of thick worsted weight. So it'll be a nice sized little bunny. That being said, I thought his head was smaller than it was going to be.
Well, you still have to put the snout on and all the other stuff, so.
Snout is such a
piggy word.
Yes.
Piggy word, oink oink.
So I have finished the head. Sorry, on my tail.
It has to be stuffed in. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I figure stuffing it will help too. So that's the head. And you can see all the lovely variegations that come with maple praline.
I love that. It's hard to work with.
I didn't think so.
But, well, it was when I did the cable sweater. It's not so hard with the stuffed animals and things.
And then here's the muzzle, which is also finished.
I have to pull praline out and see. He's in the same thing as you are.
So
that's really nice. It goes sideways?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it goes. I think it would go.
I mean, that's not the front, right?
I thought it. No, this is supposed to be the neck here.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe those. I thought it was supposed to be the neck.
Well, you might. No, I'm sure you're right. I was just curious.
Let's see. This opening will be the neck edge to touch the body.
Mm-hmm. Well, once we get stuff, it'll work.
It just looks so smart.
It'll be cute. And this will be. It won't be so flat. It'll be.
Yeah, I guess it won't be.
Yeah.
I'll just have to wait and see.
It'll be cute.
But it's been fun. I worked that all up in one night. I forgot how quick crochet is.
I love crochet. So, respect the crochet hook.
It's been a nice change. I'll try to always have something crochet now in one of my bags so I can have fun with some toys. Because now all I really want to work with crochet is toys because I prefer the knitted sweaters. If I find something I like crocheted for sweater, I'll do it, but for the most part I'm going to be knitting my sweaters. So crochet for me is going to be a toy craft. Anyway, that's all of my whips.
You're sure about that now? Okay, I guess I'll start with what I'm not doing. I have not worked on my Blue Heaven sweater. That's what it's called. What's her name? Lisa Gentry, the Crochet Closet, the Blue Heaven sweater. I decided not to work on it for the last couple of weeks. I got to a point where I have to start shaping it, and I had a lot of other things that I wanted to get finished, and there was a lot going on, so I just decided to put it aside for the time being. I still want to do it. I'm still happy with it. I just didn't want to work on it right then, so I haven't. My other WIPs, my whips, I'm still doing my blanket, my Nicole blanket. As you can see, it's I think it was meant to be a square, but somehow it's a rectangle. So I got several rows done. You can see where my marker is right here. So I got about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches done. This is my, when I don't have to concentrate knitting or projects, so I can just keep.
It's called mindless.
Yes, mindless. It's just something I can do while I can just relax. I don't get tense about it. It's just fun and relaxing. As I said, I'm using Red Heart yarn from my stash in 9 different colors, reds and greens and browns and tans and this kind of cream color. And I'm still on the first ball, but it is getting smaller. I think I'm going to have to change pretty soon, I hope. Knitting takes forever. I'm not used to it.
Knitting conserves yarn.
It just takes forever. So
it's going to be ginormous.
It is going to be huge.
Blanket if you're using a full ball for each color.
Yeah, I may not use the full ball for each color. I may just.
I wonder if they told you a specific ball size.
No.
I mean, some balls of yarn, which are only like 50 yards or something, that'd be a teeny one, versus something like this, which is Red Heart goes forever.
Well, let's see.
Well, it is supposed to be.
I mean, it's pretty good size.
I mean, that's
I
not
started
a square.
with 60 stitches.
Yeah,
no, it's not a square. She started with 60. I ended up with 49 for some reason when I started. So it's going to be a little different. But it doesn't really say how big the yarn is, how big the balls are. Unless it says on the first page. I'm kind of not wanting to go look it up. So however big it is, it'll be. I'm not overly concerned with it. I'm using my Hiya. Yes, they are my Hiya, right?
Yeah, those are Hiya.
Yes, my Hiya is 10.5-inch circular needles on a 32-inch cord. There's no special stitches to worry about. It's all knit. The only thing I think I'm going to have to worry about is when I have to do the color change and pick up the stitches. I think I have to bind off and then pick up the stitches. I haven't looked that far ahead. So that's one of my works in progress. My other one is my claret shawl, which is actually known as the Recuerdo de Infancia by Gabriela Ordonez, also known as Gabriela on Ravelry. And this is a crochet project.
Did you work on this one at all?
I did work on this one. I even worked on it from today. It's actually
that's looking really pretty.
It's working up pretty fast. I like the fact that once you get the pattern down, you only have to pay attention. I mean, you have to pay attention. I mean, I had to think back the last time we had a podcast because I didn't do the shell correctly. I forgot the last leg of the shell, so it had like a chain in the middle and then one instead of the double. But anyway, this is what it's looking like.
You don't tink back for crochet, you just rip back.
That too.
Because tinking is just knitting backwards.
Anyway.
You can try saying crochet backwards, but I think it's a lot more difficult.
Anyway. Yes. Anyway. Okay. Regardless, this is how big it is now. It's actually moving along pretty quickly. I think it's going to look really pretty when it's blocked. But I'm only about a third of the way through.
Tech work. Tech work.
Is that a fact?
Tech work.
Tech work.
Crochet backwards.
All right, tech work. That I had to tech work. But anyway, I'm about a third of the way through the middle section. I think maybe a little more. And then after I get to that point, I will have to do the edging, and that I'm not sure how big this is going to be, but it looks like a fairly good size shawl. They do say
I like it. It's
good.
really pretty. I like the variegation in colors.
I'm excited about it. I didn't know if I would like this yarn after I bought it because I couldn't see the variegation at first, but it's really soft. The variegation's really subtle. I think I'll be able to wear it with a lot of things, and it's not too heavy. I'm using a fingering weight yarn. It's a Knit Picks fingering weight yarn. Gypsy tonal and a G hook, and I love it. I love it. I'm so excited about it. It's just I can't wait till it's finished. I mean, you can actually kind of see where I've never done a shawl like this, but you can kind of see where it's going to be going around. I don't know. It's not quite big enough to show, but you can see where the shoulders is going to be going around the shoulders. So I'm excited about it. That's coming along well. And I think that's all I have for works in progress. 2 of them. So, for now.
Right, because you want to work on the two. Yeah.
Well, my sweater is the other one, and
that's right.
I didn't work on it, so.
Oh, FOs.
Yay, FOs.
We actually have FOs this week. I have finally finished the Heather yoke, which is the Sylvia yoke by Eleanor Brown. I made it for my grandmother. I'll be giving it to her this Christmas. It's size 39.5, using US 5 and US 8 Knit Picks interchangeable circulars with 16-inch and 24-inch cables. I used Knit Picks Andean Treasure yarn with Aurora Heather colorway, Meringue Heather colorway, Mystery Heather colorway, Grove Heather colorway, Fog Heather colorway, Tide Pool Heather colorway, and the Sapphire Heather.
And it just came out beautiful. It is so.
It's a cowl. That popped out.
Oh, well, you can see that later.
Yeah, and also that's gonna be on the inside because if you think about it, it's not gonna stay there.
You can see really well how the pattern came out, and it looks professional. It feels so soft.
So I'm really happy with it. All it needs is to be blocked, and I can see just one edge that's popped out, but
the pattern goes around the sleeves and everything. It's just beautiful.
So I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah, I'll steal it.
Well, I'm not sure Grandma would like that.
Grandpa never know. Grandma never know. She won't know the difference. She won't know the difference.
So I'm very.
It's beautiful.
Very happy with it.
Her father says it's professional. My daughter's father, my husband, not my mother's father.
So it's very soft, and I'm very happy with it. I can't wait to see her face when I give it to her.
That's got to be the last gift because anything else anybody else gives her, she's not going to notice. That's just gorgeous.
So that's my FO.
Careful with that tie. Put that somewhere so you don't spill.
That's my FO.
Yeah, if you only have one?
I only have the one.
Okay.
I'm going to put this behind it.
All right. I have 2 FOs today. The first one, let me get rid of my knitting for a second. The first one is the Carried Cowl by Kelly Mendes. What's her name? Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Menzies, also known as Kaido on Ravelry. It's a little bigger than I think it originally was meant to be, but that's because I did a couple extra rows because I wasn't sure how it didn't look. I wasn't sure how it was going to be getting together because I never had a cowl before. I've never worn a cowl before, so it's a little bit big. But let's see if I can at least get some semblance of something here.
Well, you need to get the hood up to really get the effect.
I have a picture of this on my Ravelry page, but it looks like that with the hood up. And I really like it. This is why I call it the Arwen, because it just makes me think of Arwen from the Lord of the Rings. And I'm really happy about it because it's all knitted. I'm happy. Look what I did knitting. Yay! Knitting.
There we go.
So it's a little bit bigger than most of these would be. My understanding is they usually are a little bit shorter. Very warm, and it's very soft, and I love it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Kelly makes a very, very easy to follow pattern, and she's very sweet if you have questions. So it's an all knit pattern, and it was then sewn. I think I forget what stitch I used to sew it.
Was it a mattress?
No, I didn't use the mattress. I don't know what it was, but you see, it's fairly long. My daughter, Davina, already has hinted that she would like one.
She hints that she wants everything at
yes.
me.
So I will, if I do make it for her, I'll probably not only will I not do it. This is like 32. It should be a 30. I would do like a 28 for Davina because she's so small. If I decide to do that. My other finished project. No, that's not the right bag. Where's my Star Wars bag? It's in my Tangerine 8 Star Wars bag. And I made this for my husband. Da 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 Batman. Batman. That way, right?
Yeah.
And it only took me. I had to. If you remember, those of you who've been before, I had started him in black. Here's the beginning part of him last time. But you also remember that I didn't like the yarn. In fact, I hated the yarn for that particular project. It was very hard to see. It split a lot, and I just was unable to work it. I kept having to tear it out. So finally, I ordered new yarn. This is Knit Picks cotton yarn, the Dishy yarn, and it's navy blue, I think, gray and yellow, and I still have it up a hook size. I think I did it in a G hook instead of the, I believe they wanted me to do it in a D or an E hook.
I don't think you can really tell though.
And so he's a little bit bigger than he might have been. I like this a lot. The only part that gave me a problem once I switched yarn, really fast after I switched the yarn, was doing the embroidery for the belt. I have to get a little bit better at that. And I don't think I like doing the felt for the face, but it was a godsend for me because I'm really horrible right now with embroidery. And of course I need to learn to put things on a little better. I got the cape on really well, but the arms and legs. But my husband really liked it. I'm excited about it. I think he's adorable. And my husband really likes him. He's a real Batman fan. So that's my other FO, my Batman.
Which brings us right into next on the needles. I'm going to be working at some point. I even have the yarn and everything. The twin set sweater and cardigan by Claire Montgomery.
Well, that's pretty.
She wants in just one color though, even though they have it in two. So
yeah, I don't like
them. I'll be making it for Mom from the book Knitting Vintage. It has a lot of beautiful patterns in here if you've never found this book before. But I'll be using Yarn Bee, Andy's Alpaca, 85% acrylic, 15% alpaca in the arabesque colorway. So at some point I'll be starting this. Preferably after I finish another sweater. Or something. Not crocheted. Crochet will be replaced with a crochet project. Then I want to be working the Hera shawl by Inez Sousa. Hera. Crescendo is just the name of the book that it comes in. And you can't really see it that well. It does have two colors. It's a longer shawl. It's going to be for Davina because you'll be noticing there's not a spinning section. I felt like spinning was taking too much of my knitting time, so the dark green shawl probably won't happen. Hold on 1 second, please. Davina's timing is...
She had to tell us that she was doing something.
But she comes in not when I'm talking about anything. She comes when I'm talking about something for her.
So she has perfect timing for that.
But she's off and on her way. This is going to be the main color. I think this is blue, the main color.
I don't remember. I think that's what you said, yeah.
It's variegated blues with some greenish colors. And this is the Carabino colorway, and this is Malabrigo yarn. This is also Malabrigo yarn in the Solace colorway. And that'll be the edging. And that's variegated greens, even though it's not quite as variegated as this, so it'll work as a good edging.
She'll be excited. She likes anything that's stylish.
And it's a longish shawl, so it'll be stylish for her. And then the last next on the needles is kind of also a stash enhancement, but I won't show you stash enhancement part. I just want to show you the pattern. And I don't have the yarn out here. It's going to be the Annie the Adorable Bluebird by Stacy Truck.
Oh, she's fantastic. I love Stacy Truck.
And I think I even have the yarn I need. Isn't he cute?
Depending on what yarn you need, I have some blue right there.
I have some blue. I have, remember I bought it came from that Italian,
Is that enough?
It should be. I'll take a look and see.
Yeah.
And then I should have some extra yellow at some point, so I'm hoping that'll be enough.
I've got plenty of yellow. Lots of yarn left over from Batman.
So that's what's gonna be next on the needles at some point. Needles and hooks.
Okay, I'm my turn?
Yes.
I'm not sure what's going to be on my needles and hooks. One of mine is going to go into stash enhancement. I think I want to do the Setna eventually here. I have to find out what yarn I'm using for it. I keep vacillating back and forth about it, so I have to find a yarn for that one. And I need to learn to purl before I do that. That leads me to another stash enhancement. Not a stash enhancement, another possible on the needles. I think I'm going to get rid of the baby blanket. And
I think you should start right off with the Sedna shawl to learn how to purl.
But I don't want to do that with pretty yarn.
I think you should try.
Well, anyway, I'm going to do something, and I know that
it's just yarn, remember? Pretty yarn doesn't die when you work it in purl.
Unless it's lace.
But you're not going to do it in lace.
Kelly Menzies, from the one who did my cowl, is trying to get me to do a circular pattern. It's the mitts that go with the cowl, and I'd like to try that too. So I might do that. I'd like to do the Setna. I know I'm going to do a swatch eventually here in the next couple of weeks of both knit and purl, regardless of what I do with the Setna.
Nah, just get right past the swatch. Just go right into Setna.
And then the other thing is also, is she around?
I think she jumped.
And I will show you that when we get into the stash enhancements. So I won't repeat myself, because I do want to show you the yarn, which is the stash enhancement.
Oh, okay. So that brings us into stash enhancement. First stash enhancement is what was holding my toy I'm making, my bunny. It's the No Maker's Bag by Tangerine 8. And look, it has little no makers on it.
I'll be right back. I'll be out of the screen in just for a minute.
And when you get your no maker's bag, you're gonna hear a crinkling. You get a bookmark. You get a little Tangerine 8 pin, and you get 2 Knit Picks pins. Yes, they're still in the packing. And that's just because I haven't figured out what the heck I'm going to do, where I'm going to put them.
That's why I'm making my owl. Oh, that's my other thing. The owl.
You see how she takes over?
Mm-hmm.
You'd think it was her podcast or something.
Mine. Mine. Down.
Your side. Your side.
No.
I also got, you saw this a little bit before, Cuddly Crochet, which is Adorable Toys, Hats, and More by Stacy Troth, and she looks like she'll be really good.
And
Besides, if only for all the pictures of babies.
And she's on Ravelry, too.
Yes, she is.
I love her stuff. She's fantastic.
So that's stash enhancement. Also, you're gonna hear more crinkling because I went shopping over the weekend. Everything's in one bag. Actually, before I show that, my stitch markers. I picked up more little pandas because they came up again from Dragon Lady Designs on Etsy, and these were my favorite ones.
Aww.
So
Are
cute.
Are they all the same? Are they heads or are they
Yeah,
bodies?
they're the bodies.
Oh, I see.
They're my favorite ones.
Little
So, I think I remember telling, who was I talking to who liked them? Oh, it was Rachel from, Knit Me Happy. Rachel, if you are watching this, they're probably all gone, but check out Dragon Lady Designs to see if she still has them. Because I know one time we were on Knit Night and you were curious where I got it. It comes in this awesome bag. And she sent a little thank you note and a bookmarker that says Knitting Queen.
That is so pretty.
And actually, if you're sitting on the one that she had, there was a pink book. Oh no, it's over there. But she had sent a different one last point that said like I love knitting on it. It's not important to show. I think I showed it when I got it.
It's over there. I see it.
So yeah, you get a nice little, pretty bookmarker for your patterns when you get your stitch markers from her. Here are the famous Knit Picks hooks. It's got a nice deep hook. Typical Harmony wood coloring. It ranges from size E to size K. It has some larger sizes as well that you can get separately in the set, but the E is the smallest it gets.
The good thing about those that Taya hasn't mentioned is that they have some of the symphonies that I have do not have a flat. If you look at the handle here,
you can't tell.
You can't really tell, but they have here kind of carved out a little flat section so people who crochet know that that's really helpful. It's a really good fit for your hand. I like the symphonies that I have, but these I like better.
Knit Picks knows how to do the job. And then I also picked up, now these are expensive, but they are worth it. I find the third one. What are you looking for?
Oh, yeah.
These are my boy rosewood crochet hooks. I've always wanted to work with rosewood. Before I started knitting, I felt a pair of straight needles that were rosewood. Fell in love, but I hate working with straight needles. When I found out Boy had rosewood hooks, I picked up every size that they had there at Michael's. So it is gorgeous. I can't wait to work with it.
Nice little carving in it.
Yeah, it does.
How solid does it feel?
Feel it.
That's pretty nice.
It has a nice weight in your hand.
It's a G.
I ended up getting sizes G, H, I think it's HIG. Yeah.
The G feels a little bit delicate, but it's nice in your hand.
And if they had had any other sizes, I would have snapped them up too, because...
They're at Michael's?
They had them at Michael's.
Oh, that's what you showed me.
I tried to get you to come over, but you were busy.
Yeah. Through my own stashing house.
This is a nice little tool. It's to determine stitch gauge and how to determine row gauge, and it's for crochet and knitting. and it shows what size yarn is good for, what kind of yarn is good for a certain crochet or knitting hook, how many stitches for a gauge. It's really nice.
And I got one of those as well, so I'm not going to take it out for my stash enhancement.
And then at Michael's, I also picked up a red zipper.
Did you find out if it's long enough?
Oh, well, I won't know until I'm finished with the sweater.
I don't think it's long enough. I feel like it was short. But
Well, no, this is...
is it folded over?
It's folded over. This is
Okay.
22 inches.
Oh, okay.
The other sizes they have are like 7 inches, 9 inches, so it's kind of no-brainer to go with 22 inch. If it doesn't work, I'll just go to Zipper Stop and online and go from there.
Hopefully it matched pretty well anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of dicey with red sometimes.
Well, I could tell when I got it that it would match. But that's my stash enhancement.
Okay, my stash enhancements, I got one of those circle needle hook yarn things as well. Taya showed it to me, and I bought one.
And that was from Hobby Lobby.
That was from Hobby Lobby. These are the yarns I picked up for Batman. These are the Knit Picks Dishy Cotton yarn. I have 2 of the gray. I just want to take all of them out because they're kind of tightly packed. 2 of the gray, 2 of the blue, and 1 of the yellow. And for cotton, it's really not as rough on your hands as some cotton can be. Knit Picks seems to do really well with making the yarn a little bit softer, even if it's not normally soft. Oh, yes, this one leads to my project for Davina. Oh, here's my No Maker's bag. It came in. I pre-ordered it, and it finally came in. Casey Tangerine 8 made it for me. I love it. And I also got the pins, both the Tangerine 8 and the 2 No Makers. In fact, they're in my box somewhere.
There I saw it.
This is the cotton candy, and I haven't even
Not
opened
cotton candy.
Candy corn, I'm sorry. Yes, Amanda, I can't read. Amanda, I was teasing her about this because it got sold out from under me the first time, and she told me it would be done in 2 weeks. She's an angel and got it done in 1 week. I almost missed it. And so, actually, Talia had to buy it for me, and I paid her back for it.
No, you didn't.
You said I did.
No, I didn't. I told you weren't paying for it. There's a difference.
Well, I bought lunch, that's why. Anyway, regardless of that, this is the yarn that I got, and it's for a shawl that I want to do for Davina. And the shawl is, it's actually not a shawl, it's more of a shawl, scarf, wrap. It's by Renee Kilpatrick, and it's been worn several different ways. It's a Ravelry pattern. It is a paid-for pattern. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I think Davina will love it because she loves anything that's stylish. And in this colorway, it's her favorite color, yellow. It's almost lightning lad colors, except it has no black in it. So I think she'll really like that. And it's a crochet pattern. So that stash enhancement along with my bag. Let's see here. What else do I have? I have, I bought the, as I said in the last podcast, or maybe I was talking to VKN with Nicole, I had fixed up, my husband and I rearranged the house.
Keep talking, I'm going to move the screen.
And we got my yarn, you can see my yarn up on the shelves, and then you can see some of the boxes. Excuse the mess, we threw things out there, but the boxes to hold some of my notions and knickknacks and things for knitting. So you see the bigger ones there, and I have a small...
And this isn't a really good view because I'm probably making you all seasick.
But this is a representative box. This is the much smaller box. And this is a little different theme. The other ones are all Parisian because they're pretty. I don't necessarily care about Paris, but...
not that we can tell with your Paris knitting bag.
Yeah, well, they don't have a lot of the stuff that I like a lot. I don't dislike Paris. It's just not my favorite. But this is the dream box, and inside here I have, this is where I have my stuff from Casey, the pins and all that for later. But I have several of these boxes that I got as enhancements. And, I have an amigurumi book as well. The Complete Idiot's Guide to Amigurumi.
Really good.
It's got some wonderful tips on it, some of which I've already used. I've already looked through it. It's got a couple of patterns. I didn't really get it for the patterns, although they're adorable. I mean, there's a little orangutan or something. Well, that's a doll, but there's the orangutan.
Oh, I need to reach past you. I did pearl where I shouldn't yet, and I need to fix that.
And so this is a really nice book. It talks all about how to put things together, how to make fur without using furry yarn, how to brush the fur out, um, how to make things a little more stiff, different kinds of joins for your arms and legs to make them movable, all kinds of neat stuff like that, which I really need. I don't care if it says Idiot's Guide. I'm an idiot, so I like that a lot. I'm trying to think. I know I bought something else. I can't. Oh, I have my felt. I have orange, yellow, kind of a cream and black felt that I picked up. I got really irritated when I picked up the felt because I went to Amazon and they were really good price for it, and they charged me so much more for shipping and handling. I couldn't believe it. I know I should have asked somebody who felts if I could have traded yarn or something, because it was like they split the order and I got 60 or 90 cents worth of yarn or of felt and had to pay $7.80 of shipping and handling. And then they gave me the rest of the yarn, $4 worth of yarn.
What yarn?
Yes, I know, felt. I have yarn on the brain. Felt, and they then charged me like another $4. So it's kind of exorbitant to get something like felt. I think I have to find a place that I can find felt without going to Amazon. So those are my stash enhancements that I can think of. So, Talia, back to you.
Okay. Try to make sure it's okay. Yeah. I purled where I should have knit, so I'm fixing that problem. If you haven't seen this tool before, though, I know I've shown it before. It's a little crochet hook with a little point on the end. It is invaluable. Next section is obsessions, and the reason that I haven't been up to date on watching my fellow podcasters is because I've been watching other things and listening to other kinds of podcasts. Um, I have been kind of obsessed with the TV show Castle lately. It has Nathan Fillion, for those of you who remember him from Firefly. Um, so I've been watching that, getting up to date on episodes for that, and also just rewatching, because when you rewatch, it's easy to do patterns with that require more concentration because you just are actually listening to it. Sorry, it's fixing a stitch. There we go. Stitch fixed. Also been watching Young Justice, which is a kids' TV show.
We do a lot of that here.
But I like it because I'm a big fan of Robin. But the Dick Grayson Robin, who eventually becomes Nightwing. And it has a big emphasis on him. And then the second season, he becomes Nightwing. And there's not a lot of TV shows that focus on Nightwing. I mean, my license plate is Nightwing. I'm a huge Nightwing fan. So that's Young Justice. Then there's 3 podcasts I've been listening to. None of them have anything to do with knitting. Catholic Stuff You Should Know, with a bunch of seminarians and priests, and they're goofballs. You end up learning a lot, but they're goofy. They're goofy. I wish I had known people. They would have fit in really well with my group of friends at school. Let's just say that. And a couple of them did go to my alma mater. One of them did.
In fact, one of them was related to a friend of ours.
Yeah. Then there's Stuff You Missed in History Class podcast, which is put out by the HowStuffWorks.com. And it's very good. I think the last one that I listened to was the Bloody Benders. And they'll talk about murder, they'll talk about serial killers. Those are very popular ones. Different things with royalty in the past, just different historical things. It's very fascinating. And then my final obsession was the Stuff You Should Know podcast, which is along the same vein. It's put out by the How Stuff Works organization. And the 2 guys who do that one are very interesting as well. That goes on to your obsessions.
Obsessions. Craftsy. I really have to work hard to not buy stuff over there. At least there's no classes up right now, but they're having sales, bulk sale. They have some yarn, like the yarn I bought, so I checked it out to make sure that they didn't have something that I could use to enhance what I got last time. They didn't, so I managed not to buy it. And then I asked Davina if she wanted any there, if she liked any. She said they were all too pale, so.
Oh, and a quick note about Craftsy. That free short rows class they offer, very awesome. I did listen to one part of it because I needed to use short rows for my Fair Isle sweater, I guess you would call it. It's not really Fair Isle stuff. It's Colorwork sweater. And I needed to use short rows for it. Their short rows class is free and it's very useful for learning that.
They're very good over there. They don't just, in case you're not aware, they don't just do knitting, crocheting, sewing. They do cooking and baking and paper crafts, and they're very eclectic. So it's very good. So I really have to watch myself there. I have banned myself from watching either Tiny Geek Crafter, is that Rachel? Tiny Geek Crafter, or No Makers, or Tangerine 8 because they
on Etsy
because I buy things and I'm on a yarn diet, so I'm not going over there right now, unless
unless you see something she wants and then her yarn diet ends.
Unless Rachel gets up the vintage garden again in the fingering weight with about 500 yards, then I might go back. But
that's not really a yarn diet.
I know. I cheat. So that I have to. That's project bags. I am addicted to project bags. I am so happy Lois is back because now I can order more bags.
I think I might need to get at least one large because the sweaters I work barely fit in the mediums, and the mediums are nice size. It's just that I like to wear sweaters.
Her mediums are good size. I have quite a bit in mine. I have 2 balls of yarn in my project, and I'm talking about balls, not the cakes of yarn, and they're good size balls.
And if you work a sweater, it will fit in there with a ball or 2 of yarn. It's just that it'll be a little tight and be a little hard to close.
And it depends on how thick the yarn is.
Yeah.
I couldn't fit my R1 cowl in any of my bags except for my great big green
monstrosity.
Vera, whatever her name is.
Vera
bag.
Allen?
No, that's a dancer. But anyway, Vera Bradley, yeah. So I'm going to need to get at least a large one too. I'm planning on picking up a couple from Lois as soon as she settles down a little bit. And the No Makers bags, the Tangerine 8 bags that I have from Casey are really a lot bigger than I thought they were, as long as I don't use the solid balls. I worked with the Batman in the Star Wars bag, and I was able to put 3 cakes of yarn plus the project. So it's a good size bag, much bigger than I thought it was. And my last obsession, besides the VKN, I had so much fun on the VKN. I did it all by myself. Well, I didn't do it. I joined it all by myself. Talia was busy playing Halo with my husband, and
so we were saving the Earth from bad guys.
Yes, they were shooting each other.
He shoots me. I never shoot him.
But it was just me and hot ass knitter Nicole and Rachel, but not Tiny Geek Crafter. I don't know Rachel's last name.
Tiny Geek Crafter is not Rachel's last name.
No, the other Rachel. Yeah,
but you see last name.
There's something wrong with you. You're absolutely and utterly broken. Anyway, and then there was Julie from the Playhouse.
Playard Yarn Overs.
Yeah, Playard Yarn Overs. So we had an interesting time there, talking about all kinds of things, and then of course, and I do like the knit knives. They can be addictive. The only thing is it keeps me up way too late because it starts at 8 o'clock Central Time, which means 9 o'clock over here. And if I stay any length of time, I'm up way too late for a 4 a.m. wake-up call the next morning, so I don't get to stay very long usually. Otherwise, I get cranky. And then the last thing that I went to my synopsis class, and that was fun. I had a blast with that. It was not as focused on the synopsis as I thought it would be, but what was focused was really well done, and it did get me started. I got about uh, maybe half or three-quarters of a page of the synopsis written of what might be a mid-length synopsis draft, so I'm really happy about that. And that's basically my obsessions.
For my part of the writing, I've been working on the shared story. I've been writing it on the copy printed out, doing it at odd times, like when I'm cooking dinner for myself at night or just heating stuff up, whatever. Just here, there, everywhere. And I've been getting a fair amount done that way. A little later, I'll have to type it up, and I'll probably do more writing then, editing, that kind of thing.
We have been trying to get more walks and things in too.
Yes, we have.
More physical work because now it's cooled down a little bit.
Which has nothing to do with writing, but
no, just obsession.
Now it's on to thank yous because we are now over an hour, which when I meant to be like a lot less than that.
Don't forget the
Oh yeah, I forgot. We got a shout out from Nicole Hades Knitter on Clerk and Ravelry, who has a Positively Knitting podcast. She gave us a shout out.
She's fantastic.
So thank you very much, Nicole. Here is your shout out in return. Go and listen to her podcast.
Yes.
Now I want to thank and welcome our new Ravelry members, Ravelry group members. We have a group on Ravelry called Nurse with Needles podcast, where we have discussions. We have a poll up right now about what our favorite project will be, that kind of thing. It's just a nice place to share your own projects, that kind of thing. Chat a little bit. We have a nice little membership. Polly81 joined recently. His name is Paul, so welcome aboard, Paul. Then Tippy Toe Monkey, who is Rachel. She joined recently, so welcome aboard. Yarn Seeker, who is Susan, welcome. And Mac, who is Maggie. Welcome aboard, all four of you.
Welcome to Nurse with Needles.
And that is all now that we are running much longer than I intended this time.
Oh, why?
I think it's your fault.
Never mind.
And I just about finished the row I want to be finished with by the time I finish the podcast. So thank you very much. Hope you have a wonderful day and happy knitting and crocheting.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.